Well, hello everybody. Welcome here to this little shindig we like to do every Sunday night from 7 to 9 Eastern. It is called Project Athena, and we are here in 1933. As always, I would like to recommend and tell you all that I have switched over to a brand new operating system. So if you can't hear me, can't hear the crew, can't hear the music, can't hear the sound and the good vibes, let me know because I will rectify that situation toot sweet. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Olympians of all ages, Grimjack21502 proudly brings to you your Project Athena Olympians. Here, as aforementioned, in 1933, we are a complete... It seems that we're missing one silver-tongued devil tonight. Let's see if they can get by without him in the heart of Berlin, as fast-talking charm and persuasion may take precedence over fisticuffs, handgun skill, and Dwight's favorite, grease gun accuracy. But until then, let's go down and talk as we do to each of our Olympians, figure out how their players are approaching this evening, and we'll start with Lindy. Lindy, how are you doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing super spiffy, Greg. I am ready to get in a little, Berlin action. This is gonna be great, right? Greta's gonna be fine. She speaks the language. She knows the terrain. Back in Germany, the fact this is easier for her than America. She's gonna be great. Her only concern is these Americans that she brought with her.
Right.
They might be in a little trouble.
Guilt
get
by
themselves
association.
Into trouble.
Right, and if we've learned anything from seasons 1 and 2, we know that if the going gets tough and the tough gets going, Greta's going to be there for you. She's got your back, everybody, so don't worry. She's got you here in the heart of Berlin. And though we are not over or underneath the skies of America, we will cast our net over to America's flying sweetheart. Allison, how are you doing this fine Sunday?
Hey everybody, it's Allison, and I play Caitlin Jane O'Callahan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's flying sweetheart. And I'm feeling a little bit attacked here right now. I mean, I have to just say, it's been like 3 episodes since I've blown anything up at all.
Three out of how many? How many have we had total?
3 whole episodes. So that means I'm due. Buckle up, Buttercup. Here we go.
And with that well-nigh ominous warning, we will go over to the level-headed member of the group, the one that's never going to follow Kate into a firefight. Summer. Dwight, Steven, how's Dwight doing? As I see what Summer has done to help you all.
Dwight is, he's probably not too happy right now, but he's going to go with the group. He's going to listen to what the ladies have to say. And we are going to hopefully accomplish some goals to benefit Dietrich for some reason. But that is for here nor there. But Dwight is ready to go. Let's just say that. And I'm ready to shoot some stuff too, because it's been an episode or 2 before I fired it. Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Right. Okay. And just so you all know, as we are sitting here, your Summer has given you 2 crits apiece. So Summer, ever watchful, is here to help you. The love of Aphrodite shines from 15 to 33. And here it is bestowed upon the new Olympians in the heart of Berlin. So as Dwight is preparing to dutifully follow the orders, I'm sure passive, of his commander, we turn now to the last of our group tonight, Lauren. Sabella, how's she doing?
Sometimes wonder why you moved me to last in the lineup, but I think it's just so that I can yell at you and just really give you the energy to get started. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren. I'm That's All Ginger on Twitter, and I play Miss Sabella Maria of Zavaz's Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore on the beautiful Lower East Side of Manhattan. How do I feel? I feel optimistic, as always. Cannot cannot wait to see how this mission of subtlety and stealth goes for me, the queen of subtlety at all times.
Okay. Sure. We'll go along with that. Everybody, as we are going through the crits that have been pushed out, I will be taking a few of them away for the simple fact that we have aces that represent 1 crit, and I have put in a 2 of hearts to represent 2 crits, because you know what? I'm awesome. And everybody should really appreciate how fucking dope I am with doing all these new ridiculous innovations if I can make them work, which probably isn't going to happen. Wait a minute. I sort of got him. We're going to go back through and try to... There we go. 2 for Sabella. Let's come on, count with me, everybody. We got 2 for Greta. Woo! We got 2 for Allison as Kate gets hers. We got 2 for Dwight, and he already had a crit to going into this. So that gives 3 for him. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your keeper, though deep into his cups on this Father's Day, has somehow managed to figure out his own coding. You're in for a treat, people. So, as we settle back in, and as we are here in Berlin in 1933, as we have just been introduced to these Olympians, as Summer has already shown you, Aphrodite can bestow her love at any time. Look down in the doobly-doo in the donation section if you want to give them crits as well. And I promise to do my best to figure out my own coding and award them to them. Those crits can be used to basically succeed in any task in which they are put forth. If they have to drive and they need to make a roll to do so, just like in D&D, presume it is a nat 20. Other than that, let's get into the narrative. As last week was our season premiere of this, the 3rd season of Project Athena. And in this 3rd season, the Olympians find themselves in the heart of Nazi Germany. It is 1933. It is not necessarily the height of Hitler's power, but we are definitely on the upswing. And in this upswing, in the city of Berlin, they were presented with an old friend as Joseph Dietrich Prime came forward in between the transfer of the Olympians from New York City to Berlin, gave them several tasks in which to perform before they left this city of the heart of the Nazi regime and headed south towards the border between Germany and Switzerland, where he had promised to meet them and bring them into his stronghold. But until then, until that time, until such moments as they were detected, or preferably just before they were detected, Dietrich gave them a few things that they could look into. One was the name of Maxine Schmidt, who is a researcher for the Nazi occult ministry. She holds many secrets, and her research is developing the occult into weapons. As far as Dietrich is concerned, this particular person, if removed from play, would set back Hitler and his war machine. Speaking of Hitler and those that are very prevalent in the said war machine, Ludolf von Alvenschleben is currently, as spoken about since season 1, is currently in the scene here in Berlin at the Reichstag building, doing his own bit of research. According to Dietrich believes that there is one of the altars, the teleportation devices that the Olympians have used several times, resides in the Reichstag building, and that von Alvenschleben is using it to address the higher planes, to perhaps bring through something of great power. But who knows what von Alvenschleben's true machinations really are, as Dietrich himself seems fearful of the man, as he seems to have ascended himself into a level of demigodhood. But that's neither here nor there. Dietrich's last parting gift to them was a safe house, a refuge in the Gartenstadt Valkenburg apartment complex 1500 where they all went. They found that it was stocked with uniforms and foodstuffs and weapons and healthcare kits. And Greta even got her mini laboratory that she's been craving since season 1. All of these things provided perhaps by the benevolence of one Joseph Dietrich. We ended this with a delivery where, upon opening the door, the crew was gifted with not just a duplicate of the pocket watch they had that summoned forth the purple nowhere, but the identical pocket watch. How that is done, no one can surmise. But the only thing found in this area that seems to have any personal note to it was a photograph that was taped beside the bed that seemed to depict 5 people entering, or maybe now it shows them inside a train. The timeline is undetermined. The people unknown, except of course for honest Pete Abraham and a younger Joseph Dietrich. But beyond that, Olympians, you are now currently in your safe house, and it is at this time that I always like to ask you, what do you want to do?
Kate gathers everyone together in the small dining area of this apartment. All right. Looks like we don't have much choice but to play along for now. I appreciate everyone's input. Here's what we're going to do. We need to do some reconnaissance. I'm thinking that the Reichstag and the library, or rather the museum, are the prime locations for reconnaissance. Mr. Sawyer and Burke, that's certainly your task, initially at least. Dr. Von Krauss,
Yeah.
while it might be useful to have you out in the field with our reconnaissance team, I know that you have been hoping to get some research in. I'm going to leave it up to you, whatever you choose, whether it is to accompany the reconnaissance or to stay here and research. We may very well need 2 teams. In fact, it might be worth doing this in shifts. Sabella, as far as I'm concerned, one of our top priorities has got to be figuring out what it is that's causing you not to be able to use your powers to the fullest extent. I trust that you have some ideas about how to determine that at this point.
I can start from here, but I'm guessing if it is coming from the city, then I will have to maybe walk around at some point.
All right. That makes sense. I suppose if you took readings in a number of places, you could triangulate to an exact location. And as much as it pains me to say so, I think it might be smartest for me just to stay here for now. I'm probably the most recognizable one of all of us, and there's that whole thing with Der Fuhrer putting a price on my head. So I'm going to stick around here. That lets me take care of a little bit of research of my own, and I suppose I can be, I can protect those of you that are sticking around, or as best I can anyway. How does that sound to y'all?
This sounds amenable.
I like it.
Good as plain as any.
Look at us. Agreeing, getting along. Are we sure we're not still in the purple?
Like one big happy family. All right then. Mr. Burke, what is your first target for reconnaissance, do you think?
Well, I figured that I would first thing I think we should do is the Reichstag, just to see who's coming and going out of there. If Oberschlieven and Schmidt are both there, I can watch them. And do we have even a picture of Schmidt? Do we know what she looks like?
9.
I don't.
Oh,
believe
let
so.
me look through the paper in case there's a picture of her.
Does not appear to be any pictures of
Nice.
Maxine Schmidt.
German newspapers.
But we do know what we do. I don't know. Albertsleben.
Alvin
Yeah, Dwight even
Schleben.
probably fumbles saying his name. Even Albertsleben.
Wait, no, I've got it. I've got it this time, Dwight. It's Alvin Schleben.
Alvin.
I look at Greta.
Very close, yeah.
Often
Yeah.
Schmidt.
Dwight's
I'm gonna
even
get it.
trying to practice
We're not
German.
here. I'm gonna get it.
Well, then it sounds as though when it comes time to do our reconnaissance at the museum, Doctor, perhaps you might be most useful there. We need to ask some questions.
Certainly. And I think that I should make some addendums to these papers that we have been provided with.
That would be.
My dude.
Great. Oh,
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Love you, Grant.
all right. Right. So you want to make some alterations to the papers.
Yeah, I'm going to look at some over. I'm gonna assign who I think the paper, because they're all in German. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna this is for you, this is for you, this is for you, this is for you, and then I'm going to make a medical note, like a doctor's note, like of a condition, and I'm gonna make them each a paper. It says they're mute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. They
Yeah.
said that they couldn't hear me say that because I had still had myself muted because I was listening to you people ramble on about plans and things. Anyway, what I'd like to say is this. I touched my ear and I said that there was a communique from Mr. J.R. Ross.
Yeah.
And J.R. Ross said that there was a crit success for all active Olympians. Hashtag bad boys against summer. Hashtag we love them more. Hashtag Grant Ellis for life.
Well,
So,
golly
ladies and
gee
gentlemen,
whiz. Thanks,
boys and-
mister.
Oh, thanks, Golly Gee Willikers.
He will be suspended to backlash for sure. Anyway, back to you all. You have some kind of cockamamie plan about writing up that they're mute on a piece of paper?
Yeah, just
Okay.
in case,
I can get
emergency.
away with this.
Because I know how doctors, the doctor's notes look here. I'm quite familiar with all the paperwork from the Berlin hospital, so I'm gonna sign off some doctors' names, some notes, date them back a ways,
This
not
is-
too far back, but just enough so that oh yeah, this isn't obviously new. And then
Okay, so you're forging doctor's notes, correct?
basically, yeah.
Okay, I would like Greta to make a disguise roll for me because that's what
Oh,
that is.
a disguise roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I almost put points in there. But I didn't. But wait, we just got crits. Guess what? I'm using those on. They're all very authentic doctor's notes because I'm very familiar with the doctor system here.
Okay, so a crit cometh and a
Mhm.
crit goeth away.
That
Not
is
from
how they
you.
work.
There we
That's what
go.
they're
So
for.
where there were 3, there are now 2.
That
As
is math.
the bad boys crit goes into some forged doctor's papers.
Yes.
So to recap, Greta, you are making papers for everybody that is a non-German speaker, and it is
Mhm.
saying, I am mute.
Yeah, it's basically the doctor's condition. Like this patient has a condition, blah, 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 blah. Actual doctor lingo. I don't know anything about medical conditions in real life really much. So yeah, basically, and sign them off and carry this with you. If anyone starts speaking to you, show them this. It will say you are mute. And you should not have to speak.
Do you think, Doc, I know you have a lot that you want to do. I worry about Dwight.
Your
I'm
accents are
saying
all
this in
terrible.
front of him. I worry about him.
You should all do as little speaking here as possible. Your accents are all terrible.
What? I thought I was getting it.
You're getting certain
Alvin
verbs.
Schleben, Maxine Schmidt. I got it. I got it.
No,
That
I am certain. And with this, Kate turns and fixes her gaze upon Dwight and Elijah. I am certain that the two of you are going to make it your number one priority not to be detected. Isn't that right, Mr. Burke?
He's practicing right now.
He's nailed it. I'm going to give him advantage on his next roll.
You might be muted there.
He was just
Yes.
muted, Greg.
I know that.
Okay.
I know that. I can't say much because I was apparently muted going out on stream. So it's okay.
Oh my god.
I'm still not hearing him even when he comes off of mute. What have you done, Greg?
Nothing. You are muting yourself, buddy.
It might be his mic.
You're still muted.
You figured it out, Steven.
This is perfect, actually.
Yeah, and just in character, we'll assume that he is practicing.
We're just going to roll with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So as Dwight
Greg,
figures out, yes, go ahead.
Can we just time out for a second and let us know what your thoughts are for Elijah this evening?
Yes, for Elijah, we are not going to Jaeger Elijah because to do so would be to put him at risk. And as is my theory as a GM, DM, or keeper, I never put a character at permanent risk that does not have their player associated with it. So Elijah going out in the field would put him at risk. I will allow this. Just for narrative's sake, we can say that he's going out with Dwight, but he can neither help nor hinder Dwight.
Okay.
Okay.
And of course, you will tailor encounters accordingly.
Absolutely not.
No way. Why would you even think that?
No,
Oh, you did.
I mean, I'm not saying that
Because
to be
because
flippant
I
either.
assume people are
Honorable,
yeah, right.
Nope.
That's-
flexible.
Nope, I'm going for the throat.
I get myself
You guys
in trouble
lost. You guys lost your mouthpiece. I am
every
all
I
social
can do
encounters.
one thing.
I'm the mouthpiece,
I
yeah.
can charm
Right.
people. I'm very good at it.
Yep.
In America.
Yes, I'm good at it wherever I go. It is my
Mm.
appeal is universal, Greta. No,
Sure.
I can't hear you, Steven.
Still
Am I
can't hear you, Steven.
able?
Is
No.
it plugged in?
All right.
Oh, and she made sure all the notes too gave different reasons. Like one was extreme laryngitis. The other one was, something else.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
We can
There
hear
we
you
go.
now.
Yay! Okay. Well, I hate to meta too much, but that might change things just a little bit. Greg,
Sure. Hey, if I'm going full throat, you guys are able to adjust accordingly. You do not have Elijah to help or hurt you. Take that into consideration when you send out Dwight,
I
who
think
you were putting Elijah with.
Right. I think the Dwight can be inconspicuous. That's not really the issue. The issue is if anyone talks to him.
yeah, I'm not sending anybody out by themselves.
Right. So the logical person to go with him,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
yes,
Thank God.
is
Okay.
Be
Greta.
the doctor.
So I think maybe the 2-shift thing is still the best idea. We can send them out, see how many people take an interest walking by those places, if any.
Right.
You guys said yes to me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can. We can. You're
Yes.
good. Okay, so to recap and to augment and evolve the plan, with Elijah presumably still kind of in the pattern but not being able to help,
Mhm.
you are now sending out Kate to kind of back up, assist.
No.
No.
That's not what we said at all.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who's going out?
no.
Greg, I have like a 50 in disguise. Can I help her disguise herself?
No, disguise is for you. If you want to help somebody else out, then your role is hard or extreme to help someone else out.
Well,
Okay, so
doctor.
Dwight's going out by himself. You two are going out. Let's do this.
No, that's not. Just have a seat for a
We're
second.
aware
All
of
right.
the time constraint, Greg. We play every week with you. We know. We had to improvise.
Dwight
All
says he'll look for
Oh,
Albert
you guys
Schweitzer.
had to
He won't get
improvise.
involved.
Oh,
He
I'm
wants to see him
sorry.
come and go from the building.
How can we mute Greg on his own stream?
I'm gonna figure that out.
I'm sorry,
For
you guys.
himself.
You were talking about improvisation where people throw shit at you and you don't know about it. Please
I
tell me
gave
more
you-
about that.
I missed the whole conversation here.
I'm
I
a
don't know
good
what's going on.
person. Okay, fine. Then we could send nobody out until we're all ready to go out.
I'll go out. I'll go to the Reichstag and I'll wait for Alvin Schleetzen to come out. I'll sit on a bench.
No, could you like?
We're not we're not killing anyone today.
I don't want to call him. I just want to see him come and go. I want to get his time frame. When he comes, when he leaves.
All right. The problem just is that if anybody talks to you,
I'm mute.
right? Okay, fine.
You will specifically have extreme laryngitis, so you could be like, and like you'll cure up within a week, but we won't be here in a week, so it's fine.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna again meta here. I'm not gonna play this like Elijah's completely. Unless Greg, unless you tell me he's like bedridden, I'm gonna play it like he's here, and send them out as a team.
Right. Yeah. What would happen is Elijah and Dwight would go out as planned. If anything happens that would either be a benefit or a boon for Dwight to be able to assist with, Elijah will not help with that. If it would be like a fighting situation or something that maybe Elijah's not quite as proficient in, he won't hurt with that. So he'll be there. He'll be there, but like he won't be able to assist with rolls against the enemy or anything like that. He's a silent partner in the narrative.
Okay.
The idea wasn't for them to interact with anyone anyway. Elijah would be no more help than anyone else.
Exactly. All right, Mr. Burke, Mr. Sawyer, you know what you're to do.
I am a benevolent.
We'll see you back here in a few hours.
Oh
I am a benevolent
what?
keeper. And here is what the benevolent keeper will say. The benevolent keeper will provide this as Elijah kind of being in the area. If something were to pop up that would require a skill set that would be of Elijah's bent, persuasion, charm, fast talk, I will allow Dwight to roll his own abilities with advantage, as if there is some omnipresent help coming in from Elijah, a distraction, a call from across the wherever this might be, something that would help Dwight a bit, but he can use that one time.
I think that's very fair.
If he gets
I think it is too.
He's not going to get in your way.
So
He's
fair.
If somebody's shooting at me, can I grab him and throw him in front of me?
He's gonna.
No.
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 Okay, I'm just asking.
Okay, go be.
I would never do that.
We need
All right.
Oh, that's
Would
never.
never do that.
It's gonna take what?
Strider, I'd never do that to you.
How long did it take for him to get here? For us to get here from the
We
We
French?
took a cab
10
Yeah,
minutes.
like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
in a
10,
taxi.
15 minutes.
Is it near any of these places? The museum, the Reichstag, the Glenorchy Palace.
The Glenica Palace is the farthest away, but you have the museum and the Reichstag within 10, 15 minutes of your current place.
Dwight will tell Kate, listen, I'm used to blending in. You have nothing to worry about.
I have full confidence in your abilities, Mr. Burke, and I have full confidence that if you are spotted, that you will act appropriately.
I will.
All right, we'll see you in a few hours.
What time is it? I checked the pocket watches, but they don't do that.
Right. They don't tell you the exact time. When you guys got there, it was break of day.
Mhm.
So
Early morning.
you're right around noontime right now. So you're right around lunchtime.
Hey, Jeej, can I ask one thing? If Dwight's, as we're in the apartment, Dwight would definitely be on the lookout on the outside because he knows that Dietrich knows where this apartment is, and he knows that he's got somebody in his mind watching this apartment. And he just wants to, anything that's very familiar to him, he'll make spot hidden checks at certain times on the outside to see if there's very familiar things that keep reoccurring, same people maybe. You know, he's going to be very aware of what's going on around.
Sure, I'm not going to make you make spot hiddens for the time that you've been here, but I'll let you know this, that as a sniper whose job is to record patterns and see kind of similarities in movement, you realize that this is in fact an active residential apartment building, and the people that you see coming and going are coming and going to the same places. They're leaving the facility, and if you look long enough, they're returning and going into the same apartment, numbers. Nothing so far has popped out as being different. If
Okay.
you want to continue to monitor that window, I will remove Dwight from anything else that might happen inside the apartment, research,
Right.
different types of things like that, and just assume that he's at the window. If something pops up, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But
Dwight's
as
looking
of-
at people that live in the building too.
Right. As of right now, I'll ask you to roll a general spot hidden, and you did that last time. I'll ask you to roll every time you come into the apartment, roll a spot hidden. That'll cover the blanket time until you leave the apartment again.
Got it.
All right. So Dwight's going.
And Elijah.
And Elijah, can we give them a time to be back? Can we say be back by 4? Or sooner would be better, but
Yeah,
I have no problem with it as long as they
No,
agree.
I'm not asking you.
Yeah, I think.
Why would I ever ask you anything?
I don't know.
I think maybe 1 or 2.
How long to walk there to the Stag?
It was 30 minutes to the French Cathedral for walking.
That
I'm
was
asking
a
the
question.
keeper.
for you,
That was a
Greg.
That was the
question
keeper.
for you, Greg.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You needed something now? Yes.
Oh my God.
I need something, Cheech.
The
Your buddy.
Reichstag is 10 to 15 minutes away by cab. It is 30 to 40 minutes away by walking. Equidistant, but in the opposite direction is the museum. So if you decide to go in that direction towards the Kaiser, what is it? The Kaiser so-and-so museum? Kaiser... in Kaiser Friedrich, the Kaiser Friedrich Museum. If you go towards the Kaiser Friedrich, it is 10-15 by cab, 30 to 40 by walking.
Dwight is going to walk because since he's a worker, he wouldn't take a cab, and that would avoid conversation. And he will go to the belly of the beast to the Stag.
Okay, so Dwight, what are you taking with you, Dwight?
Dwight will take his grease gun in a bag,
Okay.
and he will be somewhere strapped with his. See, Dwight wants to get a German. I forget the name of the pistols. You know what I'm talking about. He wants to get one of them
Luger?
in case. Yeah, but he'll go with his 45 strapped somewhere to him as he normally does.
Is it visible or is it?
It would be very. I mean, what does the worker outfit look like?
It's basically like a zip up one piece kind of overall, long sleeve overall.
Where do I think I can pull it? Now that another quick question. Now that I have melee at over 50, can I hold the grease gun and the 45 at the same time and shoot them?
Absolutely not.
I guess it's considered a rifle, right? So, okay.
2-hand.
It's considered ridiculous, and I'm not going to allow it. No.
I will. Anywhere Dwight's probably used to concealing 45, so he would conceal it anywhere that the overall kind of is not baggy, where he can. I mean, even if he has to use duct tape.
Okay, here's what I'm going to give you.
Okay.
You can tuck the 45 like into your waistband underneath the overalls, but to get to it, you're going to have to unzip the overalls and grab it. It's not something that you can just pull forth like you would from a holster. The grease gun carried in your bag would also take a round to withdraw. And the question I'm now going to ask is, how much ammunition you taking?
Well, how big the bag you can let me carry?
Oh, you can carry as big a bag as you want.
Dwight will carry 2 clips.
Okay, 2 clips for the grease gun.
Yeah, because he's not going to carry a very big bag.
Okay.
And he'll also have a knife, which he's going to have down by. Okay, 8 clips. You want me to take 8? 4 clips. Okay, I'll take 4 clips. I'll listen to my leader, and I'll take 4 clips. And I'm going to carry. Of course, he's going to have a switch. He's always had a switchblade.
Okay. And
that'll
that's in
be
your boot.
That'll be in his boot. That's always there.
Okay, I just want to make sure I know where everything is.
Yeah.
For when everything inevitably goes south.
And he's got his cigarettes.
Got those.
Right.
His German smokes.
Okay, so as you guys take one last look at Dwight and he leaves, heading off towards the Reichstag building.
There aren't by any chance any of those cool little radios around, are there, in this safe house?
You do
maybe
not
a luck
see
roll.
any.
Like maybe a luck roll. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Nope,
What
none of
happened?
those. You mean like earpieces where you guys can talk to each other across town?
No,
No.
like Jack
No.
had,
Hey guys, I'm
Jack
here.
had a fucking cigarette box that we never
he did.
ever asked him about because he was never ever.
Like in episode 1 was
Yep.
freaking cool.
It's fine.
We did
Yeah.
have that. I do remember that.
All right, go on with your bad self.
Here
And Dwight will do
today,
spot
gone
hidden and
today.
make sure he's not getting followed, G. I'm throwing it out there. Spot hidden so he's not getting followed.
Okay, well, what I'm going to ask for you, Dwight, is as you're leaving, is I'm going to ask everybody for as they're leaving, Dwight, make me a disguise roll as you are walking into Berlin.
Got 3 crits. Got 3. Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
So just another normal worker carrying a bag heads off to the Reichstag building here in downtown Berlin. Head down, not particularly paying attention to anything. As he leaves, what would the other Olympians like to pay particular attention to?
Alrighty. I have a list. I think I should look at the pocket watches first. I know that they're identical. I know what happens when I open mine. If I open the other one, what does it look like?
Okay, so do you have them both out together?
I did, yeah.
Okay, roll a power check for me, please.
Hard success.
Okay, as soon as you bring out the one that you originally had, assuming you left the recent discovery, so we'll call it new and old. Old is the one you had before, new is the one you just received. So as new was already out on the table or wherever you have it placed, as soon as the old one kind of is presented, you can feel both a physical hum coming from both of them and a psychic hum coming from both of them that you, for lack of a better word, feel the itch between your ears when they are both in the same space.
Can I possibly assist with this in some way?
Yeah, you can provide help in with whatever skill that you have specialization in, meaning like occult. If it's a role that's something like psychic or power, that's going to be single person only. So you can assist with anything that would logically lend itself to being an assistable skill.
Does it feel oppressive? Like an oppressive hum or like a pleasant hum?
It feels like almost like static. Like there's nothing malevolent about it, but when you pull it out, it just feels like interference.
I hand the old one to Katie. If there's a little more, and I back up, if there's a little more space between them, does it stop?
No. If they're both out, there is a hum to them both. It doesn't seem to increase or decrease with that type of proximity.
Do I feel it as well?
You can feel the physical hum of it. The psychic hum of it is for Sabella and Sabella alone.
All right. I wonder if I can add my mechanical repair to this. It is a watch, after all.
I will allow you to do that, but you need to tell me specifically what you're trying to figure out about this watch that a mechanical repair roll would gift to you that doesn't require taking the watch apart.
Well, I think if I felt that hum, I would be trying to determine what sort of mechanic was producing that.
I'm going to allow you to make a mechanical roll here.
Hard success?
You identify that it's coming from inside the casing. The obviously the shell, the surface level. There's nothing on the surface level that's creating the hum, not like a winding mechanism. And because you got a hard success, you can't see, listen, hear if it's any stronger or weaker from any particular point of the watch. Meaning it's not over by the spin, it's not over by the dial. It's not, by the hinge where the face pops open. It seems to be coming from all angles of the surface of the watch at once.
Is there an actual watch face on it?
Mm-hmm.
Are the times of the two in sync with one another?
Well, you'd have to pop them both open to take a look.
Oh, have we not done that?
No, specifically, we have not done that. I will open new.
Okay. New is showing that it is currently 12 noon.
No purple?
Doesn't seem to be.
I'm just about to open it, and then I look up at Sabella.
Can you wait?
Sorry. Yeah.
It says new. Now that one usually pops open, and before it's been like purple, like it's popped out. Okay, I'm gonna close new. Now you can open old.
All right. I open it.
It also says 12, but upon further inspection, it appears to be 12 a.m. No purple.
12 hours apart.
Right. I think, Okay, give it back to me.
Do you want me to close it?
Yes, close it.
All right. I just want to be sure I'm doing this
Oh,
right.
yeah, you're doing it fine, Kate. Okay. Okay, I'm holding them both. Okay, now just go on the other side of the room or something.
Okay.
Greta is in the bathroom at this time during this whole thing because she doesn't want to be.
Smart.
Anywhere near
Yeah.
this? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Greta, are you doing something while the Watch
Greta's reading
Olympics are going
letters
on?
in the bathroom, but she's also to be not in the nearby vicinity of whatever they're doing with these watches.
Okay, specifically what's she reading?
All those letters I took from that safe in
the
Valentine
Meadham
Ale.
building.
Mhm.
Oh, Valentine
Oh, and the
Ale,
Meadham
okay.
building. That's right. I have multiple letters. I have so much mail to read, guys.
Okay.
And they're distracted right now. So yeah, I'm gonna take this time to just kind of like sit there and just go through a bunch of mail.
Katie, why don't you back into the bedroom? Just in case.
What? Oh, all right.
Now,
All right.
they told me kind of Meadham had a pocket watch. Y'all have told me about that, right? What happened in Central Park?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Before I do anything else, I remember there were Alice in Wonderland things on these watches. Is there anything else since then? Do they just look the same? There's no... Yeah. Is there anything in addition to the Alice in Wonderland motif?
If are you holding both of them and kind of like observing them, comparing, contrasting against one
Yes.
another? Okay, well, they still have the same kind of Alice and White Rabbit chasing like the liquid clock face kind of around the secondary spindle of the hands of the clock. They're identical in every aspect. You can roll me a spot hidden though if you can see if you can pick up anything different from the actual two.
Mm-mm.
They look identical, and they
Okay.
really do. There's
Yeah.
not much that jumps out at you.
Okay. And last thing, really, I don't know why I'd be rolling an occult roll. I think they do something freaky because I've seen one pop out purple stuff, and I've heard someone else used them to put Kate and Greta in some kind of container. So, would I generally know anything about weird pocket watches, Greg?
Well, you're holding both of them right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fine. You're in the bedroom, Kate?
Yep.
Okay. This would be a stupid way to die. And I open both pocket watches.
Sabella disappears. Let's cut to the Reichstag building.
Oh my
That's how
god.
we do research.
I'm
Let's
done.
cut to
I'll see
the
y'all next
Reichstag.
week.
Yeah, thank you for taking over for Greg on Father's Day.
Let's
Yeah, that was
Let's
pretty
cut-
crazy.
Let's cut to the Reichstag building as it is now about 30 minutes later after this intensive watch examination. As Dwight, you pull up in front of the Reichstag building that's been identified to you. It's set by itself. It's a governmental building that it has its own block. So it's not like it's butted up against other buildings. It's very ornate, kind of Gothic. It has arches though that lend itself to a kind of a hint of like Greek architecture, and it has grass to the side of it. It's separate, and across the street is a park, a small urban park. It seems to take up at least 2 blocks worth of space inside the city. There are people here in the middle of the day that are taking advantage of the park. They are going over. You see people that are eating on benches and things like that. And as you enter, you actually see several other people that are wearing uniforms very similar to your own as you walk in. Elijah kind of peels off and just goes over and starts to walk through the park, kind of peeling away from you and allowing 2 separate figures to be less identifiable than 2 companions.
I want to identify what they're doing. What kind of workers are they?
The people that are walking around here, they seem to be laborers. Anything from, you have a very difficult time figuring out exactly what they're doing. The uniforms appear to be like city workers of some sorts. You would assume they're labor, but whatever is on their labels and on the backs that kind of identify them, you cannot read.
Do I see any of them go toward the Reichstag, like maybe potentially that I could drift in with them in any way, shape, or form?
Roll a spot hidden.
Thank you. I'm hitting it. And it is not doing anything.
Refresh your. Oh, there we go.
Loop.
Comes 1,000 of them. We'll take the very first one that came
Yeah,
through.
whatever the first one is. Success.
It's a 45. It's a success. You don't see. It's not as if there is a platoon of these workers going into the Reichstag building. Occasionally you'll see 1 or 2 that kind of peel off, and you'll see them kind of begin to take care of the grounds. You know, they're kind of pruning the bushes, cutting the grass, making sure that there isn't any trash anywhere. But it doesn't seem to be an identifiable workforce. There's nothing that you can see from their uniforms that's either different or similar to your own that would allow you to go into this building and kind of blend in with them. So you're not comfortable there's nothing that says I can do this. It just says they are sort of dressed like me.
Who do I see going in and out of the Reichstag? As I sit here and kind of smoke and watch.
Sure. As you sit there and smoke and watch, I want you to do 2 things for me. Roll another spot hidden and roll a disguise.
Did that even take?
Yeah, I got your spot hidden.
Okay.
Roll your disguise for me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are unaware of how Cthulhu works, the lower the number is the better.
You don't have to do this, Greg.
The higher the number is not as better. And a 1 is fantastic. 100 less fantastic.
Do you have to take
So-
pleasure in this so much?
I do. So as you're sitting there smoking, you're watching and you see some government officials go in, and just as you are kind of getting a feel for the ebb and flow of traffic into the building, you see a very long Mercedes pull up out front. And as it opens up in the back, you see this very tall man with broad shoulders. And as he comes out of the car, you can see the shock of almost white hair on the top of his head as he plops his gray hat on with the iron cross on the bill. And as he begins to walk in, you immediately, without any type of visual reference or cue, know just from the presence of this man that this is Ludolf von Alvenschleben, as everybody sort of falls in behind him as he is walking up the 30 or 40 steps in front of the Reichstag building inside. And so as he's going to walk in and you're kind of watching all of this, you don't notice that a man has come up kind of a little bit to your side. You're like 5 o'clock. And as he comes up, he says to you in German, "Ja, und danken wir ja mit da."
Dwight will fumble to pull out the papers, showing the papers. That
Acute laryngitis.
he pretends like he's deaf.
The man looks at it. Now
Which
that you
is
turn
not
to
what
look
Greta
at,
told you.
Dwight does not remember that. Dwight's gonna really intimidate the fuck out of this guy here in about 2 seconds.
when you turn and see, you realize that this gentleman is not wearing a soldier's uniform, but appears to be wearing local law enforcement, as it is a dark brown uniform with brass buttons and kind of a pleated black braid that hangs over his left shoulder. And as he looks, he cocks his head and reaches into his pocket, pulls out what looks like a fountain pen, primes it, flips over the note that you've given him, and hands it to you. And he says, "Das was uns sprechen."
Yeah, Dwight acts confused.
So let's cut away from this situation as we go back into the apartment complex. And as we go back into the apartment complex, Sabella has just disappeared. Kate is in the bedroom, but more importantly, we are going now into the bathroom where Greta has arrayed before her letters and paperwork.
So many other people's mail.
Right. It's just everybody's mail. Greta, as you've been going through this, you've kind of been able to, the vast majority of this stuff is exactly what you would think it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Ballantine Ale stuff has a lot of, it's a front for what they were doing.
Yeah.
You see a lot of surplus invoices and things like that coming in.
Yeah.
With the stuff from the Meadham building that had come from the safe, it's stuff that while may be important to Robert Meadham, it's not important to you. And there's
Okay.
nothing in it that really indicates anything. In fact, there's like tchotchkes and like personal artifacts. Like you see in there that there's a pressed 4-leaf clover. There is, as you're looking through there, there's a torn ticket stub for the Orient Express. There's just things in there that just don't seem to necessarily have anything that would help you in what you're currently doing. And so,
Being nosy.
right, yeah. So as you're looking through there, however, you do find a couple things with the Ballantine Ale.
From the
And
safe.
Right, mixed in with the stuff that seems like the surplus invoices and things like that, you're able to find the following. It seems to be a communique that, while coded, has already been deciphered. So you can see that there is a code across the top and then a written translation underneath it. And the written translation reads that Joseph Dietrich can no longer be trusted. Stop. Attempted murder of Ludolf von Alvenschleben confirmed. Stop. And then it kind of just trails off.
Okay.
You see that there's just those two missives, but it looks as if there's a secondary piece that goes with this communique. Some further looking through. Maybe it hasn't been translated yet.
Okay.
Or hasn't
Yeah,
been
well,
deciphered.
I have the key, so I'll just keep looking.
Correct. You using the one that you currently have would act as your Rosetta Stone to be able to figure out any subsequent code. And I will let you know this, now that you have that and you look through it, a lot of those surplus invoices seem strange.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, wait,
Okay.
I'm in the bathroom. Hold on. There we go. All right, so yeah, I'm just getting real. This is interesting. This is
This
word
is
science.
what bathrooms should be used for.
Yes. What else would you? I mean,
I
cleaning
strongly disagree.
and privacy. Translate these notes in peace.
Okay, so as you kind of get into it and as you're doing all of that, you do identify, and those are from the Ballantine Ale things that you've gone through.
Yeah, and are
Now
those written in English or German?
They're written in English. They all,
Okay.
everything, the
I
invoices
figured
are
they
in
would
English.
be, but
Yeah,
I just better asking.
yeah,
I'll
everything.
definitely stay in the bathroom then and keep translating.
Yep. Now, everything that has come through, now, as you're going through the Medium building files, like, again, you see, like, the 4-leaf clover, the old ticket stub, things like that don't seem to have any type of beyond sentimental value, at least to you. As you're looking through there, though, you do find an older piece of paper. It's not parchment or anything like that. It just seems like it's paper that has aged, so it is yellowed. And as you look at that, you realize that it bears similar markings to what you all saw in both Bolivia and Borneo, that weird Nakal kind of script that you see on it. And you believe that if you and maybe Dwight and Strider or Elijah put your minds together, you would be able to kind of work through this. It would take some time.
Strider and I were speaking it.
Right.
Can I read it? No.
It's one of those things where you can say something, but when you guys were in the process of saying it, this is a language that no one's seen for years and years and years. So looking at it, it's not necessarily phonetic.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll set that paper aside, and anything with the tchotchkes in, I'll set aside. Bundle up all the rest, and then get cracking on these codes. This code is this is interesting here. This might have some useful information for them while they're in Germany.
Right.
Especially if it's considering Alvenschleben information.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to roll a library use as you kind of figure this out and delve into it.
Okay. How extreme!
Nice.
I'm a code cracker.
Right. You're just like one of those Apache that they bring in. Right. So you're able to, as soon as you go in, what do they call the Windwalkers? Whatever it was in World War II where they brought Apache code breakers. That was awesome. So anyway, whenever
this is much easier than genetic sequencing.
Right. It's literally the first invoice that you look at that you can start seeing how they're placing the messages in each, and all of the invoices seem to be uniformly typed. Once you know what the code is, you're able to identify what letters of which sentences of which words are able to be drilled and brought out to be part of the code. So as you kind of fall into this, working with accelerated rate as that role would dictate, we're going to cut back out to the apartment proper, as I'd like to know what's going on with Cato Callahan.
Did I see her disappear?
If you were in the bedroom, were you looking at her?
I would have been. I would have backed into the bedroom and...
Yeah. She is no longer there. And because I asked, roll a sanity check for me.
Hard success.
Okay, so you're able to kind of see that, and as the emotions rush through you of seeing a fellow Olympian and Sabella nonetheless just snap out of existence, Kate snaps like she usually does into action. And what would she like to do?
Sabella. Sabella. I run out of the bedroom back to where she was. And I'm just looking around for any indicator at all of what might have just happened. Did I sense anything, smell anything, see anything out of the ordinary?
Tell you what, I'm going to allow you to roll a spot hidden at extreme or hard
Crit.
for a certain set of information, or I'm going to allow you to roll an occult for a different set of information.
But I have to pick one of the two.
You do at this particular moment.
I'll roll occult and I'll crit the roll.
Okay, so as you spend a crit on the occult, as you get there and you kind of fall into this must discover, must find, must figure out what's going on, you feel an independent shivering from one of your pockets.
I reach down and just sort of pat it, see if I can feel what it is.
It certainly feels like that box that Wally gave you.
I pull the box out very slowly and inspect it.
The gods shine on Dwight as a boon from Genly was given to Dwight. We'll see exactly how that boon plays out in the next sequence. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you were going to open the box, you said?
I'm just inspecting it at this point.
It's moving almost like a jumping bean would. You know, like a pop, 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 pop move.
All right. I'm going to open it up. And I'm not being real careful here either. This seems urgent.
Okay. So as you open it up and as you kind of get a chance to look at it for the first time, the only person that could probably really explain this to you would be Greta, as she in fact saw this before. It is an amulet and a necklace that was bouncing off the bare chest of Jack Parsons as he rushed along the shore in California. It seems that, Kate, you would have probably recognized this as a symbol that Jack might have doodled a lot, but he didn't begin wearing it until after your time with him. So as he progressed in his own beliefs, this was something that he took to wear. And as you see it, it is not the source of the jumping. You're not, like, the amulet itself isn't popping around in there. And when you open it, the popping and the erratic movement ceases.
Does it appear, though, as though it was the amulet itself that was moving independently?
You can't tell now. As soon as you opened it, all movement stopped from the box or whatever was causing the movement of the box or in the box.
Describe the amulet for me, please.
The amulet looks like a triangle within a triangle. So now that you have a close inspection of it, it almost looks like an infinity triangle that goes down. Its point captures another and goes down, and it just runs almost like an hourglass figure, but it looks different when you look at it. And as you look at it, the geometry of this triangle atop triangle hourglass changes into a triangle, into a bow tie, into an hourglass, into a triangle. But when you kind of look away and look back, it's always a triangle stacked on a triangle. It's only when you stare at it for a long period of time that it seems to move.
And does it have a chain or a
It's a piece of leather.
leather thong? Kate sighs. She kind of looks up. All right, Jack. I'm gonna trust you one last time, my friend. And she slides it over her head. God damn it.
Say it with me, chat. Kate disappears. So let's cut back to the...
Come out of the bathroom and be like, where the fuck is it? Every fun goes. Idiots. All of us idiots. I can't deal with this.
We're the worst.
Just stay in the bathroom.
We just stay in the bathroom. That's the safe place. Bathrooms are safe. Everywhere else is terrible.
And Jeej, I want him to just stay in the bathroom. You don't need to come back to me.
So anyway, back in front of the Reichstag building, as this gentleman has presented pen and paper to Dwight, asking a question in my awful German, but their perfect German, and Dwight is going to say or do...
My God.
He
Which translates to I am deaf.
He narrows his eyes and he says, Uknhaisa. And he touches the bottom of the page and he presents you with the pen. Roll an idea check for me.
Quick question. Dwight still has the bag in his hand, right?
Oh yeah, it's all there.
What's under idea?
Intelligence, just an intelligence
I
check.
got it. Wow.
Yeah, he asked you a question in German and he wants you to write the answer. Something that a sore throat shouldn't stop you from doing.
All right. Who's around me?
As stated, there is quite a bit of people here enjoying the park on this nice day, as it is lunchtime. And of course, there's Ludolf von Alvenschleben, who is walking up the steps across the street.
How far is across the street?
Across the street, maybe 20, 25 yards from Ludolf. This is the shit you get when you roll 100.
Is anybody paying attention to me? Spot hidden?
Yeah, you're drawing several eyes now, as this is an obvious police officer who's having a problem with you, and you don't seem to be complying. And in this, a very tense Berlin, people are beginning to move away when they realize that you're not listening.
It's come to this, huh? Dwight is going to... What kind of gun does he have?
You can't tell. He has a holster, and so far, the firearm appears to is still in said holster. He also has a baton of some sort, neither of which he's reached for, but he is armed. He does, in fact, have a whistle that's hanging from the button of his left breast pocket as well.
All right. Dwight will take the pen and he'll write, Ich dein type deaf.
You are going to write in German that you're deaf.
Yes.
I will remind Steve, the player, that to take a crit in something, you have to have a point in something. And as you don't have a point in German, you can't take a crit in German. And so there is no luck here for that, so I won't allow you to waste any of it. As you scribble something, hand it back to him, and he reaches for his weapon.
All right, I'm gonna crit. I'm gonna drop my bag. As I drop my bag, maybe to throw him off.
Tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you what you need to roll for.
I'll crit down. Dwight wants to reach down, pull out his switchblade, and he's gonna jam it into his gut and move and book.
Okay.
Is there a clear? Where's the clear path that he can just shoot out of there?
You're in the middle of a park across from a governmental building that has no buildings butting up against it.
Where's the closest thing he could disappear into?
The park behind him. Yeah, the park behind him offers some cover. Everything else is an open street or the Reichstag building or the property of the Reichstag building.
How about if I pull the switchblade,
let's start with that.
Bam it into his throat. Just anything he can't scream, that he can that gives him 10 seconds to move.
Okay, let's start with that.
Yeah.
As you spend a crit, you are able to stand up, and as the man is reaching for his weapon, he goes to say something, but before he gets a chance to say something, you run a knife underneath his jaw up into his throat and brain and kill the man instantly.
Yeah, and then set him on the, and then boom. Because everybody's watching me. If somebody wasn't watching, this would be easy, but apparently everybody is spectacles on me with the fumble.
Okay, yeah. So with the aforementioned narrative that people were watching you because of your inability to comply, you run this man through, killing him, and drive him into the bench that you were sitting on, kind of like Weekend at Bernie, putting him down on the bench.
Yeah, but act like, does people see, he wants to conceal, he holds his hand, knife in, and if the guy, would go back, they wouldn't know exactly what happened, kind of deal. He kind of holds him something happened to him.
Sure. Okay. I tell you what, I am a benevolent keeper. I would like you to make 5 luck rolls.
All right. Oh. Okay. Getting better. Yes.
So 4 of the people that were watching you don't understand what's gone on, but a woman that had a perfect view of you ramming this switchblade into the throat and or brain of this person witnessed the gout of blood that sprayed out when you did that as you pulled your hand away and has begun to scream.
Dwight's gonna, if I have to crit it, I'll grab the bag and book as fast as he can go. Closest thing he can get to a building, stealth, anywhere he thinks that he can hide and blend in, and just anything he can do to book.
I will tell you this, as you turn and leap over into the park proper and begin to run, thinking of all of these angles. Hey, thank you very much, buddy. Crit Dice Gaming, everyone, for somebody that is both an enjoyable human being and a fantastic role player. Thank you for the follow, or thank you for the raid, my friend. Dwight, as you jump over the wall into the park and are thinking about angles and thinking about ways to get away and thinking about places that you could go and hide and spin and duck away from these Nazis, the scream kind of pauses Berlin for a moment in this section of town. And as the contingency that is moving up into the Reichstag building, as one stops, but they do so because they are halted by the person at the point of all of this. And Ludolf von Alvenschleben stops and turns around and looks into the park. And as you jump over, he spies the trailing form of Dwight, and he immediately moves his head as the 7 men that were flanking him spear out and start charging into the park. But let's cut back to Sabella, who's been waiting in breathless anticipation all this time.
Nope.
Since I made her disappear.
You didn't make me do anything. I did it myself.
You did. You disappeared. And so as you disappear and as you kind of float away for this moment, you realize that you've gone nowhere. You are in the apartment building, except the racks of clothes are gone. There doesn't seem to be anything here from the Olympians, none of their clothes, none of the things that they brought with them, none of Dwight's weaponry, none of Elijah's costumes that he has. Nothing is there. Greta's laboratory isn't set up.
Is the light different?
The light seems to be tinged a bit. It's got a reddish hue to it.
This is fine. If I walk into the bedroom, does it look different?
When you walk into the bedroom, somebody is in there sleeping.
I clear my throat. Okay, I'll walk over.
As you walk over, you notice that there is a picture taped up beside the nightstand.
Mm-hmm. The same one?
You'd have to get closer to look.
I'm getting as close as I can.
So you're kneeling down over the sleeping form to...
Yeah.
I don't like to presume these things because that would be like I was
doing. Yes.
Okay. As you kneel down and look, you see that there is a picture of 5 individuals, and it looks as if there's a picture of Joseph Dietrich,
Yep.
2 women,
Mm-hmm.
the man that you knew as Honest Pete Abraham, and kind of a burly gentleman with dark hair and a beard.
Yep.
That's it.
Is the turpentine smudge still there? Like there's like a space where someone else should be?
You don't see one.
Is there like a calendar in here?
No, but the person in the bed begins to stir.
Oh, good. If I look at them in the face, do they look familiar, Greg?
Yeah, it's Dietrich.
Oh, hey. Great. Yeah, of course it is.
He rolls over and his eyes open up, and even in this kind of reddish tinge, it lends a bit of a purple quality to the blue eyes that he has as he looks up and for a moment looks through you, and then his eyes focus a bit as he pushes the long hair over his left ear, and a late 40-ish Dietrich looks at you and says, "Ah, Fräulein Ives."
Good morning, evening. I don't know when it is, or I know where it is. That's something. Hi.
Hello.
Lindy, stop private messaging me. Hi, right. You sent me a pocket watch, or us, a pocket watch. Does that sound familiar at all?
No, when did I do that?
Oh, no.
When will I do that?
It'll arrive August 15th, 1933 here.
Ah.
Early morning.
I'm making myself a note on that.
Yes.
um,
Do you know what these dudes, these look familiar at all? Are they still open, by the way, Greg? Okay.
yes.
They look familiar at all.
You open them both at once.
Yes, well, experimentation.
I always thought that would kill me. I applaud your bravery.
Thank you. That's what we'll call it, bravery. So do you know how one works?
He swings open the cover, the comforter that he's sleeping under, and yeah, he's naked. And he gets over, he walks across and throws on a robe of some kind and ties it as he turns around and says, I would offer you coffee, but I don't believe that you could drink it. So
No, it doesn't seem like it. I am not even sure if I am here physically.
He walks over and touches your shoulder.
Okay.
You're here enough.
Seems like. So, how do these work?
That is a question for Caduceus, not for me.
Ah,
But they have brought you here, so tell me, how have I helped you?
okay. Well, let's see. Oh god, time fuckery. All right. So the day was Monday, July 31st, 1933. And things were happening with good old Robert Meadham trying to collapse things, and they were somehow sending us to Calcutta. You stopped it, dropped us off in Berlin, and told us some things you'd like for us to do around that time. And you had a nice little safe house for us with clothes and food and papers, and you were very polite, and everyone was very kind to you in return.
Who was with you?
Oh, do you not know us? Well, you know me.
I know you,
But-
Miss Ives.
Do you know everyone else?
Human, old man.
That's concerning. Kate O'Callahan, Dwight Burke, Elijah Sawyer, and Dr. Greta von Krauss.
Dr. Greta von Krauss.
Oh, you're gonna know that ahead of... Oh. Well, that explains something anyway.
So she is working with you. The good doctor.
This was my fault. Yes. But so are you, kind of. Vaguely. This was a poor decision. But it's fine, I make lots of those. So I'm just gonna guess and hope. If I close these, I might go back to where I was.
Yeah, probably.
What year is it?
What year do you wish it to be? You hold all the power.
This is weird. Well, I did not wish for whatever year this is. I don't think I did.
1924.
So how are things?
They've been better.
Huh.
Would you do me a favor?
I think I'm probably obligated to. Sure.
If I ask you about someone, will you tell me the truth about them?
I am very bad at lying, so I tend to be truthful.
Oh, we should get along famously then.
Oh, we do. Just great.
Do you know the name Ruby Foster?
Yes.
Where is she?
In complete honesty, I do not know.
When was the last time you saw her?
Well, it's hard to say because time doesn't really work right there.
So that is how. Do you know May Young?
No, but I reach in my pocket and pull out that picture.
Where did you get this?
From here, I was just going to give it to you next time I saw you.
This is not right, so it's not. This is different. This is.
Is someone missing? Someone's been blocking things, like hiding things. And I think they did it to your picture.
May, is she alive?
Ruby seemed to think so.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe I should get back to what I was doing. Can I ask you something? I forgot to ask you recently. I forgot to ask you, but different you. How do you always know where we are?
He reaches over and takes both of your hands. He kind of cups them and looks at the two watches and spins the top of both of the watches with his fingers as he rubs the back of your hands with his pinkies. And he goes, "Because, my dear Miss Ives, you tell me." And he snaps them both closed. You appear back in the apartment in 1933.
You hear Bach being hummed from the bathroom.
Katie?
And with that transition, we go to Kate O'Callahan, who is no longer in the apartment of Joseph Dietrich in Berlin. Excuse me, she is no longer in Berlin. She is no longer in Europe. She is in a kitchen in Malibu, and it is not 1933.
Do I recognize this kitchen?
It's Jack Parsons.
Sweet baby Jesus and his virgin mama. I'm frantically looking around for something to tell me what the date is and calling out, Jack? Jack? JP, are you here?
Now, without being able to find a convenient calendar or anything else that indicates the exact date, as you look around, Kate, you see the empty bottles. You see the revelry of the night before, and your mind takes you back as you remember this exact sequence without the questioning of where exactly Jack was. But this is the evening after the great success with the prototype.
The evening after.
The morning after, excuse me.
You see Kate's face just kind of fall. And she starts moving very quietly back toward Jack's bedroom.
When you get there, you see him standing at the window looking out at the Pacific. He has what looks to be loose pants, like pajama bottoms on, naked from the waist up, as he's just staring out towards the west in the Pacific.
Kate pauses. And she looks down at the amulet that she was wearing. What do I see?
It's gone.
Jack?
You see him from behind reach up as he places his hand against the glass. It's the only answer he gives.
Jack, it's me. It's Kate. She takes a step forward.
As you take a step forward, the dawn light begins to grow quickly from the east, and you see the clouds, sparse as they are, whip past the marine layer as what looks like an entire solar cycle is being progressed within the span of seconds until you see the sun dipping below, just rosy fingers in the west of the Pacific. And as this is happening, you see condensation or frost of some kind begin to creep up the window, around and above and to the sides of Jack Parsons' hand.
Kate quickens her step and crosses the distance between the threshold of the room and where he's standing. I reach out to touch him, but don't. Jack, come on, snap out of it. I'm right here. What's going on? Where are we?
The one hand that's splayed, five-fingered palm against the glass remains where it is. And from this vantage point, you get a partial profile of the man, and you can see that while he's still robust and healthy, his eyes are sunken and they're closed. And as he reaches up with his right hand, he draws in the frost on the glass, and it takes you a second to realize he's just drawn a heart with his forefinger.
Jack, it's all gone wrong somehow. I don't know where I am, and we're right in the middle of everything wrong. And Sabella's gone. Jack, I don't know where she went, but it's something to do with those watches. Jack, if you can hear me, I need you to help me. What is going on here?
Jack turns and still doesn't reveal his full profile. It's almost as if he cocks a chin back towards the sound of your voice. and you see a tear creep out from underneath his closed eye. And he nods, agreeing to one of the things that you said. And he finally whispers out, "It's all just windows, Kate." And you're gone. As we cut to Dwight as he is running through the park. And Dwight, as you're running through the park, jumping and trying to get away, this phalanx of soldiers, these Nazis, are just spreading out. And you know this is a typical capture and flank. It's a pincer maneuver. They're just spreading out. They're using geometry against you at this point.
Do I see a car?
You see nothing. You're inside a pedestrian park. And as you're running, you jump to clear just a small rise, and something reaches up and grabs your foot and brings you down. And as you hit the ground and slide to a stop, you slide, and as your eyes open in this midday grass with the vibrance of the light right above, you open your eyes and you see this odd pendant right in the grass in front of you. It looks like a triangle on top of a triangle.
Dwight grabs for it.
Dwight disappears. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Olympians of all ages, that is where we will end this episode of Project Athena.
Genial, I owe you my life. I owe him my life.
I'm sorry we were sassy. I'm so sorry.
And ladies and gentlemen, boons from chat can save a life.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna...
So, let's go around like we always do and talk to everybody as we always will and see exactly what my Olympians thought of this evening. Chat, feel free to chime in as we will first go to the good doctor who spent the majority of her evening in the bathroom tabulating letters. But
So
she's made
smart.
progress, right?
I
Smartest
imagine
of all.
it's been like maybe 45 minutes, and I'm just like in the bathroom cracking codes, Little Orphan Annie Secret Society style, just like, man, I got this. Like humming some Bach, maybe a little Mozart, and just figure, like, you know, she's had a great, very productive episode. She's like, man, everything's going so well. They finally shut up out there, so maybe they're actually getting research done. Oh wow, I don't know. This is great. Greta has no idea how far gone to shit this whole thing has gone. That's probably a good thing. She had a great episode. I feel really bad for everybody else, but I can't wait to see how this all culminates into next week's episode. You can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy on Twitch and Twitter. You can find me here every Sunday night for Pulp Cthulhu. You can find me Tuesday afternoons on the Greyhawk channel where I'm DMing Vecna Lives, and it's super cool. Tuesday evenings, my channel, you can find me DMing Out of the Abyss. And also, I think hopefully next week, maybe this week, we'll have Tomes to Tentacles again as we were recording again very, very soon. Wednesdays, you can find me and Greg on Encounter Roleplay doing some more Cthulhu, not Pulp Cthulhu, but just Cthulhu, Doors to Darkness, Wednesday afternoons. 3 hours later, you can find me again on Encounter Roleplay's channel doing Star Wars, Rise of the Dark Side. Thursdays, evenings, Web DMs channel for Land Between Two Rivers. Fridays, here again! What? I just can't get enough. Firefly RPG, and it's super awesome, super great. My character had a lot of stuff happen last episode, and it's freaking me out, but it's great. Saturday, every other Saturday, Power Score RPG, and at some point later this month, I'm sure we'll be on Scraticus' channel doing Pirates Paradise. Yeah, that's it. We're good. I also
Awesome.
imagine Greta, like, like coding the stuff and having, like, Hans Gruber's hand, like, hold her spot, like, just, putting the hand there and, like, finger.
Right.
So, okay, that's Verabas.
I have no idea if his first name is actually Hans, but I'm glad that we've named him that.
It's not. But it's
I didn't
okay.
think so.
That's what he's been called
no,
for like this whole episode.
he's
Is
been-
Hans Gruber.
He's been called Gruber.
He's been
Whatever.
Gruber. He's never been
But
Hans
now
Gruber.
he's-
But...
He's
No, he's
Hans
Alan
this-
Rickman.
Oh!
Right. Okay, just so you know too, Lindy, we will start next episode with what you have uncovered from the coded messages that have come in. Because
Awesome.
this is the prototypical, I'm spending my time doing this while everybody else experiments with shit. And
Yeah.
I am going to reward such dedication when we start the next episode.
Worst. We're the worst.
Now, speaking about experimenting with shit, Allison, Kate, how you doing?
Yeah, you better look down. That was the worst episode. It was the most amazing episode. Oh my God, that was incredible. I've been waiting. This is what I signed on for. Give me time travel. Give me interdimensional bullshit. This is everything. I am so fucking on board for this season. Oh my God, that was amazing. I love you. I love you all. I love you, chat. I might even be a little turned on by Joseph Dietrich right now, but just a little bit. And I'm sure it's not going to last.
Not just me?
Until next time, you can find me trying to calm the fuck down at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y on Twitter. Catch me on God's Fall and WanderQuest, 2 amazing podcasts, but not like this. Holy shit. I love you, people. Catch you next Sunday.
Awesome. And to the man that owes his life to Cato Callahan, Jack Parsons, and a flipped up triangular amulet, how you doing, Dwight Burke?
I'm gonna tell you, I read like 70 scenarios in my head what I could do, how I could get out of this. First of all, I probably never again will we do. Will I be out in the middle of a park? That was a mistake. I made several key errors here tonight. However, the fumble was what got me, and I was ready to fight and die. I was ready to, if it had to be, I was ready to go at everybody. I want to thank chat for their crits, Genial for the boon, because it was going to be, it was going to be fight to the end. Yeah, it was the middle of Germany, Dwight versus Germany. It was going to turn out badly. I didn't know what I said. Well, if I could get a car, I was ready to take a hostage to a car and drive them so I could drive somewhere stealth crit. When you said no cards, I was like, well, dude, you basically put me in the fight of my life now. So that's where I was at with it. Then you said you grabbed me. I thought it was Yavin Sleeman grabbing me, Superman in me. And I was going to turn and try to pull my gun out and fire on that. It was a done deal. But thank you, Genial. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Summer. Thank you. That's all I can say. Because I was, as we call, bucked on this one. That's for sure. And Strider, he's still in trouble. He doesn't even know it.
Absolutely.
He's blending in. He's just somewhere like
Shrugging.
gosh, Dwight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know what? And it's a collaborative thing that we, everybody comes from a coaching tree. My coaching tree is Will Jones. He has this great idea for collaborative storytelling with chat. It's fantastic. I come from a line of fantastic DMs. I hope to live up to it, and this is a great way to have a collaborative story. Chat is 100% involved with how this narrative plays out. It was a fantastic thing. It worked out that everybody decided to do all this experimenting at the same time. But the one that started off the experimenting, the one that took us where we needed to go with the very first disappearance was Lauren. Lauren, Sabella, how was it?
I don't know anymore. I don't know what to do with myself because I have to go through the whole week until we get back to Sunday because that's how time works here. And it's very frustrating because this is absolutely my favorite place to be. Greg is my favorite GM in the whole world. He's dope as fuck. Genuinely. And I love all of you guys so much. Yep. That seems about right. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm Not So Ginger on Twitter. Tomorrow, I'm playing with Obo Crazy over on Encounter Roleplay. At 1 p.m. EDT, we play some very lighthearted D&D 5e. And then, I don't know, on Thursdays, I play on the Greyhawk channel where we're exploring some dungeons. That's super fun. That's also at 1 p.m. EDT. And a few Fridays, we're playing Conan over here. That sounds right. Pew, that's going to be lots of fun. And then back on Greyhawk with Greg for some reason. Oh, that's going to be fun. That starts June 30th, and that's on Saturday nights. And there's also some Wilderness Mirrors thrown in there. There's lots of stuff going on this summer. It's going to be a blast because I love these people, and this is my favorite thing to do all week.
Awesome. And because I switched over to my new platform, please make sure you find all these beautiful people on Twitter. I will have their links up next week as I am in the process of putting everything over my Stream Deck, and it's on the old one, and that's on me. I suck. Lauren, as you were saying that, I just realized that sometime soon we will be seeing one another Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
I'm gonna go legit insane.
That's never gonna end poorly.
No, friends forever. Friends forever.
Right. Woo! We got this. Anyway, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. Ton of things going on over on Encounter Roleplay, WebDM on Tuesday nights, where we do a little Spelljammer action with Starward Bound from 7 to 10. It's super great fun. But coming here on this particular channel, starting 2 Fridays from now, we are going to have Conan, an Age Undreamed Of, which is pulpy magnificence. It is the current RPG of the year. And it'll be from 12 to 2. And then from 2 to 4 on this channel, we have Firefly, Tales from the Big Damn Verse. And then on Saturdays from 2 to 4, we have the sister show of the one you have just watched, where Project Athena has just wowed you for the last 2 hours, hopefully. Project Kronos will hopefully wow you for 2 hours on Saturday from 2 to 4. I am blessed to have magnificent casts throughout the things that I'm allowed to GM, and that group is no different. But this group is the first one, my baby, my story. These people are telling it with me. Chad is telling it with me. I am having a wonderful time doing it. There's never been a purer definition of a labor of love. Any second I spend in 1933 with these people and with you is time well spent. So as I sit here in 1933 and figure out exactly where the rest of this wind will blow, the Athenians and those in Kronos and chat and whoever else wants to join in this madcap fun, know that we'll all be here waiting for you. And until then, we're going to send the love over to my man Mythmatic, who is doing a little playing. And if you want some entertainment, watch the man with the magnificent mustache, because he'll surely give it to you. But if you want to come back here for some more entertainment next week, and the week after, and the week after, we will be here in 1933 waiting for you. We love you guys. Goodbye.